Welcome. Welcome is really hard to just say on its own.
You can say, hey guys, welcome.
Hey guys.
Keeping Up With Me.
Yeah.
HP.
Welcome guys to Keeping Up With Me, HP. Welcome guys to Keeping Up With Me, HB. Okay guys, so we are done with the word fat loss diet. It's been exterminated from titles now. And as you can see, I've really tried super hard to change it up for you guys. I've even moved chairs. I dragged the chair to a new corner. That's how much effort I put in for this one. You might also see that there's going to be a new guitar that just sits here a lot. It's not going to do much. But it gives me the option to talk and do things that are not necessarily nutrition. And a lot of you guys know, or don't know, a lot of you guys don't know that I actually do sing.
Sometimes I wanna slap you in your whole face.
And I do play the guitar and I do play piano, but I kind of gave it up because I started getting or growing my nails long, and that just became a new priority, so I don't do it anymore. But I do, and I even have on my, I'm looking, you guys can't see this, but I have a board behind me which is my content schedule, and one of them actually says music with Chino, and it just keeps getting a scribble through it like each month because I find something to do instead of. The only way that I think you're gonna get me to sing something is if you demand it. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. So it sits there just in case we want to do something musical. This is a new series, as you can see, with my super flashy brand new set. And today, I guess we're just going to talk about my last week. So wrapping up, I guess, the old series of fat loss. Clearly, I struggled with that. But I mean, it's so interesting because I think I set out with great intentions to really make a good amount of progress with it. And the more I kind of got into that groove of tracking and attempting fat loss, the more I kind of was realizing as we went along, like, I'm actually not, I don't feel like I have a burning desire to need to change. Like, it's okay to have a goal of just kind of maintaining. I think moving forwards, I don't want to have these high expectations of needing to make change. And I think for you guys as well, I know you get to a point and you feel like, well, I have to be doing something. Like, how can I, if I'm not seen to be, working towards, fat loss, or if I'm not working on, muscle building, like, well, then I must be failing or I'm not doing enough. But you know what? Sometimes it's okay to have maintenance as your goal. Like, life gets really busy. There's so many things that kind of come up. And I think that it's totally okay to have periods where it's like, you know what? I've got so many things on right now. I'm just cruising with my nutrition. I'm just cruising with my training. I'm just doing the work, and it keeps me, I guess, in a good mindset. It's motivating, it's a relaxant, and it's just something that I do. It's part of my lifestyle, but I don't have to be seeking out all these crazy goals. So I am gonna do my final summary this last week, and you can see how I went. But like, I know I wasn't compliant. I also got my cycle this week. So it's another one of those things where you go, or expecting to see your weight decreasing, and it goes back up, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. So anyway, new series this week. I think I feel like all I did was work and then, I guess, eat out, restaurants, work, squeeze a bit more training in, work some more, eat out. So there was so much food and wine and drinks consumed and donuts. Let me tell you, donuts. So I actually decided to do a video which is coming to you guys really soon. We took the BioLane girls down to Sarasota to do a bit of a taste comparison between 5-0, which I'm sure you have seen me talk about this before or make posts at least on my Instagram. And we decided to compare it to a very popular donut place here in Tampa, which is called Dough, or That's Dough. So That's is a restaurant that their menu is like insane. They've got like giant everything, really cool like combinations of foods, and then they have That's Dough, which is located next door. So they have like cronuts, donuts, muffins, brownies, cupcakes, awesome cakes. So we wanted to make sure we had a good comparison of both. So we did that this weekend, which was so fun. And you're going to see really a lot of calories consumed. So again, like I was meant to be in fat loss last week. That wasn't something that was part of the content schedule, but we kind of just did it because I have friends in town. So yeah, I think it was just a really another good week for me personally, because it was another week of me saying no to dieting, which I'm just so happy doing that. Like, it's nice not to feel this crazy pressure to have to do something every week. It's just, you know, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm also still good with that. That's cool. So really had a great time, really felt like present and not having to have like this super anxiety feeling of, you know, oh, I'm not allowed to have this, or I shouldn't be doing this, or you know, that's too high in calories. So I think all of us had a pretty good time. Let's go and have a look at my check-in for the week. By the way, before I do that, I've been really slack. Most people don't even know that I'm a RideAware affiliate. So that is these guys, RideAware. They have just launched Lauren Simpson's new range this week, which is awesome. I believe a lot of the stuff is sold out. But if you aren't familiar with the RideAware gear, this is their new seamless range, which I love. And girls, the reason I love it so much is that they finally have got a couple of shorts with a mid-length short. So a lot of them are quite short cutoffs. These give you a little bit more length. They're really like flattering. They don't have the scrunch bum, but they're very flattering. So as I was saying, tracking this week, let's have a look. I've just got to record my screen for y'all so you can see what I'm doing. So going into carbon, let's kind of scroll across to today. So first off, let's have a look at my weekly averages. Okay, so first off, we're looking here at my calories for the week. So my weekly average calories was 1628. Now, last week I got a calorie drop because I wasn't losing on the earlier calories of 1711. So calorie drop, and this week's average, I didn't hit it. And that is by and large due to this wonderful day of glorious donuts. I'm still having fond memories of eating donuts. 2,300 calories. That's not crazy. Honestly, it's not. But just the one donut itself, 629 calories is kind of like their average calorie amount. I think there's about 75 carb, 23 fat, just under 10 protein. So they are very dense, and depending on the topping that you get, like some of them have like chocolate, some of them have, I guess, like buttercream, some of them have fillings and stuffings. So that's the average, depending on what you get. So I think all things considered, the fact that I only ate 2,300 calories, that was pretty good. But I did plan, I don't think I had breakfast that morning. I had, you know, my donuts were the first thing that I ate. So that day really threw me off. But at the same time, like normally that would have stressed me out, like and gone, I would have been driving down a little bit anxious going, oh, today I might not hit my targets. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy it. Like give myself permission. Like you can have this. It's totally fine. And I had such a better time and really enjoyed it. And consequently had some amazing training sessions yesterday and today because carbs, come on. So that was a high day, but overall pretty steady week. I actually hit my targets. I was actually lower on my targets for the entire week than I was meant to. And that did give me a little bit more flexibility on that Sunday, but there you have it. So I'm definitely over. Protein, nailed it. I love protein. I love it. I'm sure there are some of you guys out there love protein too. If I am going to overeat something, it's always me going over on protein because all my snacks and my habits are centered around like high protein foods. So you can see there my average is 145. I was at 147, 145, 146, a little bit low on Sunday, probably too many donuts. And again, yesterday I was a little bit low. In fact, I don't think I tracked everything I ate on Monday. So again, probably a little bit higher. Carbohydrates, let's have a look at those. Sunday, 287. Thank you, 50 donuts. So my average came out at 162. So that's not too bad, all things considered. And then fats, scrolling across, So Sunday, 76. So I had 2 donuts just about after we did all the tastings, because we had like 30 donuts. It was crazy. I can't wait for you to see the video. So 76 grams of fat on that day, which is not that bad considering you can see I did a good job at hitting my fats earlier in the week, 40, 43, 44. So I probably would have come out compliant if it wasn't for Sunday, but you know, so there's a few other confounding things. All right, let's go check in because I haven't checked in yet for today. So let's go check in. Were you compliant to your macro targets? So my weekly average, you can see here, was 1628. Now this is a new feature on the app, which is about to drop. So you can see here on the left-hand side, it says your targets, and then it says tracked average right by that. So you guys are going to see this feature very soon, if not already. I think we might be dropping it in the next week. You can see my protein average of 144. So I hit my targets by protein, no problems. But my fats and my carbs were over. So we're just going to go no. And I got my cycle this week too. So on Saturday I started that. So that's another really challenging thing. Like when you get your period or when you're leading up to, you're always that little bit more emotional, you're a little bit hungrier, you're a little bit hangrier. So you really have to be organized on those days. So again, I think that also contributed to Sunday just being like, okay, just give yourself some grace here. You know, it's a hard day. It's a hard week. So my current weight, I think I've already entered it in today, but I'll just repeat it so it's no different. So 72 was my weight today, which is not that bad. I don't think it's much higher than last week, considering I have my cycles. I probably would have come down, all things considered. Everything looks okay. Yes, complete check-in. So my calories are going to be held steady. So there's 2 reasons why they're going to be held steady. The first one is I wasn't compliant. So the coach needs to see how your weight responds when you hit your targets. And secondly, they also, even if I was compliant and I had my cycle, the coach isn't going to make an adjustment because my weight is being positively impacted by my menstrual cycle. So looks like things didn't go as planned. Your calories and macros were a little off. Yes, they were. Oh, thank you, donuts. So 1521 is going to be my target again for this week. 145 protein, 142 carb, 42 fat. Those numbers suck, I must add. Let's go. Yay. So this week I don't have anything kind of planned. We don't have guests in town after Thursday. So I've got Shelley staying with me until Thursday. And then we've got a week off. We've got Livia's birthday party next weekend, which will be fun. And then we're heading over to California for our first holiday, official holiday of the year, where no work, nothing, nada. So we've got an Airbnb on the beach, in Laguna Beach, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with myself because I don't normally not work. We'll still have to do social media. So that's kind of coming up. I'm very excited for that. I'm definitely taking a diet break. You guys have seen me take many diet breaks, aka I haven't been compliant for a while. But officially, it's quite interesting because the mindset changes. And I encourage you to see how you feel about this, because you can take these weeks where you're not compliant and you're like, oh, I know I've got this on, so it's probably not going to be a compliant week. But if you give yourself that permission to take a diet break, it's kind of like you see a shift in your behaviors, and it's now like, oh, I don't have this underlying anxiety. It's just because you acknowledge that you're taking that diet break. So if anyone's in that position and you are having trouble hitting your targets and being compliant, and you're finding that's been a bit of a trend, much like me, I should have been doing this as leading by example, but it's not really messing with me too much. But if it is bothering you, take a period at maintenance. Take a week, take 1 or 2 weeks even, to kind of get yourself back into a place where, all right, I think I'm ready, and then drop back into fat loss. So I'm going to do that when we go to California. So that'll be the first time you'll see a check-in with me making that adjustment, and you'll see what my maintenance calories actually are. And then that'll kind of allow me to have a little bit more flexibility with my food that week. Hopefully I get a little bit more of a drop this present week, since I'm going to have lower targets. So it really is my goal this week. I say this every week, guys, but hey, I'm really trying to be flexible. So that is this week in a nutshell. A few PRs were hit this week in the gym. So this morning, after all of those amazing carbohydrates and so much energy, for deadlifts, what was I doing? Sixes, conventional deadlift. And it's been a little while since I've done sixes. Got my lifts up to 265 for 6, which isn't my best, but it's probably been about 12 months since I've had those in a program. So I'm excited to see kind of where that can progress to, and when I'm not freaking injured. I've had my MRI. I don't know what it's going to say. So that'll be good. But this week, lots of PRs so far, feeling really strong, feeling so good, much better mood, and yeah, generally looking forward to this week. So I hope you guys are having a great week so far. By the time you see this, you will have seen one of my updates, which is actually all about my eating disorder and overcoming that. So if you haven't seen that, that was the video from Tuesday, which is today, Tuesday the 25th of August. I talk about my struggles with my eating disorder as a teen and how that followed me until about age 25, and then intermittently through 25 to 30. So that's like my years competing. So I really go into all of those details. So if you missed that video, go back and have a look. I'm sure there are things in there that you can relate to, and it was more an informative video to help people that are struggling, who are in that position that I was, and me giving you some, I guess, my feedback of how I was able to get through that. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me and my new set. Super fancy. I look forward to hearing or chatting with you next week.